Hey everyone, my name is Bogdan and welcome to Acura Addicted channel, helping you to navigate in the world of automotive repairs, maintenance and reviews. I am back with the 7th episode of the first season of the Make Acura Great Again project. In this last episode of the first season, I'm gonna show you how to change oil, and we'll find out if it's worth doing it yourself. As always, the Russian version link is in the description. Let's roll! Oil change is often looked at as the easiest possible maintenance item for a car. It's not a secret that it's the most important one, as keeping the most expensive mechanical component, the engine, properly lubricated is a key to many years of vehicle service. Before I start, I'd like to point out that the official oil change labor cost at Acura dealership is currently about $29 Canadian. Note that during my entire 6 years of DUI experience, I've been doing things like replacing brake pads and rotors, alternator, serpentine belt, timing belt and water pump, spark plugs, engine air filter, dampers, tie rod ends, stabilizer bar links and bushings, and many more. I've even done some body work and painting and valve adjustment, and yet I have never done an oil change myself. Here's what you need to be able to complete this. At least 4.5 quarts or 4.3 liters of 5W20 engine oil. I'm using Pennzoil Platinum Ultra synthetic oil. Oil filter. OEM filters are inexpensive and effective, but I prefer a Fram synthetic filter. A 3/8 inch ratchet, a 1/2 inch ratchet, 17mm socket or wrench, crush washer for the drain bolt that is recommended to be replaced every oil change, an oil drain tub, funnel, long neck preferred, lots of towels. You might also need or just want to use a breaker bar to break the 17mm drain bolt loose, an oil filter wrench to break the filter loose, a plastic bag to pack up the old oil filter, torque wrench if you want to properly torque your drain bolt and new oil filter, ramps to raise your vehicle enough to gain easy access to the oil pan drain and oil filter, wheel chocks, a creeper, Alright, let's do it! First, you need to warm up your engine. Once it's warm, find the oil pan drain bolt and loosen it with a 17mm socket or wrench. No luck. Let's try that again. Still nothing. I'll try to use a breaker bar now. As you can see, unfortunately, even considering the SUV clearance, there's not enough room to angle a breaker bar to be able to loosen the bolt. So I'll be forced to use the ramps now. Here's how you get your vehicle on ramps. It's great to have someone help you on the outside, but I find it works just fine by myself. Don't forget to block the rear wheels for safety. Great, now there's much more room for operating under the vehicle safely, and I can use a creeper. Let's try the breaker bar again. No changes there. but I have more space now, so more leverage for the regular ratchet. Success! Now carefully remove the bolt. Don't forget to place the drain tap below it. Tip: not directly below, but at an angle further to the back of the vehicle. As you feel it almost leaving the thread, prepare to quickly remove it by avoiding spilling the oil on your hands. Well, that didn't go even nearly as well as I expected. Alright, keep an eye on that drain tap and move it as the draining oil pressure drops. With the oil drained, replace the bolt and don't forget to use a new crush washer. They're only 50 cents. This part of the washer should be facing the oil pan. Torque the bolt to 39 Nm or 29 pound-feet. Great! Time to loosen the filter now. Place the drain tap under it. I'm gonna use my hand first. It's too tight. Let's use the filter wrench. Good. Just loosen it. Don't overdo it, as the oil will start spilling soon. Remove the filter carefully with your hand and let the remainder of oil drain into the tub. Make sure the oil filter rubber seal is not left stuck to the oil filter sitting place on the engine. If it is, remove it. Clean up the sitting space. Here's the new filter. It's a good idea to fill it with a new oil to help engine start easier first time. Also, use a bit of oil to lubricate the rubber gasket. It will create a better seal. Now install the new oil filter by hand. There's really no need to tighten it much. If you're not comfortable with hand tightening, use a torque wrench to torque it to 12 Nm or 8.7 pound-feet. There! I'm gonna fill in the new oil now. There's a lot of debate out there on synthetic versus conventional versus blends in various applications, but I'll leave it to another video. Make sure you use the correct amount of new oil, considering you already used some for your filter. It's easy to track the oil by checking the marks on the side of the container. Now that the new oil is in, time to start up the engine and make sure there are no leaks. Looks good, so I'll move the vehicle off the ramps now and shut the engine off. But before that, don't forget to remove the wheel chocks behind the rear wheels. It's also a good idea to check for oil level using the dipstick after a minute or so. Since I'm usually using a 5-liter jug, there's always a little bit of oil left from it, so I'm gathering it in a separate container for future use. Although I never needed it, as my vehicle does not burn oil, so there's no need to add oil in between service intervals. And I'll use the oil jug to store the used oil captured in the drain tub. Be environmentally friendly and dispose of your used oil accordingly. I went to Canadian Tire and dropped the container to their auto workshop. Time to reset the maintenance minder. In order to do that, you'll need to switch the ignition to the second position. When you see the maintenance message displayed, press Info button on the steering wheel to cancel it. Then press Select Reset button until you see the oil life indicator. Now press and hold the Select Reset button for about 10 seconds until a reset menu is displayed. Here you will be able to reset the oil life by pressing Select Reset button once. When reset, the oil life indicator should show 100%. As you can see, with all preparations and cleaning up, along with disposing of engine oil, this takes well over an hour, even if you have all the tools handy. You gotta ask yourself, is it really worth saving 30 bucks and getting dirty and spending an hour of your time for what takes 25-30 minutes for a professional mechanic to do on a hoist? Honda Acura wise, I suggest taking it to a mechanic you trust. Bring your own synthetic oil, filter and crush washer if you want. Heck, take it to an Acura dealership. I've been doing it for years at a pretty low cost. It's only 29 bucks. Of course, if oil change for your car costs much more, you can argue that at some point it might make sense. Just as many other DIY things you can do to save a lot of money. It really depends on a vehicle. If it's a German brand car, chances are the cost will be much more significant. So you might want to save there, especially if the oil filter is located under the hood in an upright position, like in a lot of Mercedes cars, so it's much easier to change. Personally, I've decided that it's not worth to do it even before I change the oil myself for the first time. Now that I've completed it, there are no doubts left for me whatsoever that it's totally not worth it. So that's why this is the first and probably the last oil change for my car that I'll ever be willing to do myself. That's it. If this was helpful, like the video, leave your comments below and hit that subscribe and bell buttons for more videos just like this. Thank you for watching. Drive safe, use your turn signals, and remember, anything is possible with the right tools and motivation.